So, big movie coming up. This is your first one, isn't it?
Yes.
How does it feel?
I can't even. It's so hard to explain. I'm just so excited.
The question on everyone's mind right now. Riley, are you single?
Yeah, I mean, no. I have a boyfriend. His name's Jonathan.
Jonathan? What a strange name.
I know, right? Total nerd name. But, yeah, he totally is.
Who is he? Is he famous? Do we know him? What does he do?
Oh, no, he's not famous at all. And don't ask about his job. It's so embarrassing.
Come on now, Riley. It can't be that bad. Tell us about him.
Fine. He's an archaeologist. There, I said it. Feel free to laugh.
I'm trying not to laugh, if that's better. But, the nerd name totally checks out. The two of them laughed for a solid minute about my job, and then they moved on to how she feels like I'm insecure about the fact that she will always make more money than me. My girlfriend had always been like that. Even before, when she didn't even have a job at all, she would always try to persuade me to shift careers, telling me I was at a dead-end job, that what I brought home wasn't enough for her. Thing is, I never went into digging dirt to make money. It was my passion, and I wanted to do something that I would happily do for the rest of my life. And Riley, she just didn't understand that. All she wanted was more money all the time. More new clothes, more vacations. And it's funny, because she never worked a day in her life to deserve to pamper herself. But somehow, paying for all her stuff fell to me. And, like a total simp, I just went along with it. Hi everyone, my name's Vince. Shout out to Metro Gaming X for the awesome idea that inspired this story. Do you want your story animated too? Then like and subscribe. Comment your idea down below. You never know. Your inspiration may be the next one we post. Alright, now, back to the story. I was kinda tired of her writing me all the time about how much money I made that one day. I confronted her about it. If you're so tired of me not being able to afford buying you your makeup, why don't you get yourself a job?
Ew, gross! What am I? Some sort of pleb?
You want something, you work for it.
I mean, you have this old, moldy mansion. Why don't you just sell that and we can finally buy a new, modern penthouse?
For the last time, Riley, no. My great-grandpa left me this place and I will never sell it.
If I get a job, will you sell it?
No. To convince her to at least pull her own weight, I set up a meeting with my friends, just to get her a head start. I knew she wasn't gonna get off the couch if it wasn't convenient for her. But Riley actually found something she wanted to do. My friends helped her get a job as a model, and her star kinda took off in a major way. Some producer discovered her during one of the fashion shows she was at, and she became a celebrity. Now she's gotten her first movie project, and it's set to premiere in just a few days. Unfortunately for me, Riley kinda just ignores me now. All the years I supported her, forgotten. Suddenly I'm just the poor boyfriend who has a weird job digging for ancient things. She makes fun of it every chance she gets. She even rubs it in my face how so many guys much richer and more famous keep asking her out. And she keeps telling me how fortunate I am that she's still with me. But then, Riley kinda let something slip one night. As she was talking to her friend on the phone, I was serving us dinner, and she muttered something to her friend that she was trying to keep from me.
I know, girl. Steven said to me the other week, he's still dreaming about me. He wants to take me to the Caribbean again. Said if I do, he'll get me another movie, and I'm like, sure.
Just as she said it, her eyes grew big. Then she looked up at me, all guilty, as if she just realized I was in the room. She doesn't care at all about me, so much that she doesn't even know I exist anymore. That was the last straw for me. I kicked her out of the house. When reporters got wind of what happened, they stormed my place for my comment. I told them everything. I was done just smiling at the cameras and lying for her, just so her career would take off. I told them how for years she refused to work for anything, how she just leeched off of me and did nothing around the house. The scandal rocked her movie premiere. And it definitely affected ticket sales. Her movie was dead in the water before the first week ended, and it went straight to cable. I broke up with her, obviously, and although I was sad, I finally had time to do more of what I loved. I channeled my depression into finding stuff to dig around my grandpa's massive estate. I didn't want to go out because of the paparazzi, so I headed to the attic. I didn't actually know much about my great-grandpa, so I decided as a little project for myself, I'd get to know the man. I didn't like what I found out. Turned out, great-grandpa was not the best guy. He got rich off of blood diamonds in Africa, and he definitely got to this country fleeing for his life when the people he bamboozled started coming after him. In one of the journal entries, he even talks about stealing some rare ancient artifacts from one tribe. When I got to the end of his journals, I saw something that sparked something in me. It was a treasure hunt, written by someone else. I'd recognize that handwriting anywhere. It was my grandpa's. I may not have known great-grandpa, but Gramps and I were super close, and I realized immediately that he meant for me to find this journal, because treasure hunts were something I loved playing with him when he was still around. I followed every clue. The first took me to the basement where I found the next. Then, I had to run to the maze garden, and when I found the map, it pointed me to a hill Gramps and I used to play a lot at. He always took me there and taught me lessons in life he had learned through his many years. I surveyed the place and I realized I was seeing things that as a kid, I never really noticed. I swear I had looked at that hill for so many years and never noticed it. But now that I was an archaeologist, I finally saw the little things that pointed towards the fact that something was buried under that hill. In fact, when I found an old moss-covered rock, it only confirmed that theory. Because that old moss-covered rock turned out to be the corner of a huge structure. Little by little, I digged through the dirt around the hill, slowly and carefully stripping the mound to what it used to be, until I realized that the entire hill was a mausoleum. Great-grandpa built himself his very own pyramid, and then he had them hide it so nobody but his own heirs would find it. No wonder Gramps always took me here to play. And why he encouraged my dream to be an archaeologist. I'm pretty sure this was what he wanted me to one day discover. There were riches beyond imagining in there. Diamonds, sapphires, an entire chest filled to the brim with the legendary Krugerrands. That chest alone was probably worth hundreds of millions. And then there was a massive case displaying tools and artifacts that looked older than anything I'd ever seen in my life. To me, they looked at least 70,000 years old, but I broke them to the lab anyway to check. And I was right. I had found the lost artifacts my great-grandfather had stolen. I reported the find, and although I could have kept it all, I chose to give most of them back to where they belonged. I used some for myself, of course, kept the Krugerrands since they were highly collectible, and so I could do what I wanted in life. But the most important things I displayed in great-grandpa's old mansion. I built myself my own house in the estate, and now people can visit the old mansion to look at my discoveries. I flew to South Africa and returned the ancient artifacts. Because of the importance of my discoveries, I became one of the world's leading archaeologists, and I finally got to travel around the world, digging in amazing, exotic places, living life like a modern Indiana Jones. I went to Egypt to find a lost city, swam in the waters of Fiji to unearth a centuries-old statue of a king. I hiked up the Himalayas in search of clues to the mythical city of Shangri-La. That was when I met a beautiful, adventurous girl who volunteered to be my Sherpa. She guided me up the mountains, and on the way down, we were in love. Funny, too, the timing of that, because the moment I got back down to civilization, my ex called me. She was bawling her eyes out, begging for me to take her back. Please,
Please, Jonathan, save me. My movie failed and now nobody wants to hire me because I've become a meme.
Become a meme? How?
Look!
She showed me her phone, and it was a gif of her saying, "Please take me back," and ugly crying during an interview. Turned out, the moment she realized I had turned into a billionaire, she retconned everything she said about my job, and she denied ever insulting me on camera. That very night, I saw her on live TV begging for me to take her back, saying that she only meant to make fun of my job as a joke. She ugly cried again, and more memes of her came out. Now her career is over, and mine is just beginning.